Hello and welcome to the Portrait Retouch Challenge. Today we have pro photographer Omar Gonzalez. Hi guys. Up against Ivato, the AI software for retouching. Okay. On today's show we will be retouching this photograph.
No problem. You're in trouble, buddy. Do you know I have a tour box?
Alright, let's put some time on that clock. On your mark. Get set. Go!
Okay, here we go. All right, I'm in Photoshop here. First thing I need to do is duplicate my layer. That's right. And I got my healing tool. I'm pretty good at this, actually. First, we got to get rid of all these blemishes. There we go. Only 12 more of these to do. Bet you never heard of neural filters. Got that from Piximperfect. Yeah! Done, baby. Done. Ooh.
All right, I know when to admit defeat. Hey guys, Omar here. And today we're going to talk about the AI portrait software retouching software called Evoto. And Evoto, I never heard of them, but I was at WPPI walking around and there was this booth that was packed with people. And after trying it for, 2 seconds, I realized this is something that actually could help me and my workflow. So in this video, I'm going to show you how Evoto works. And a little quick disclaimer here, I purchased this software with my own money. So all the thoughts that are on here are unbiased. Those are the best kind of reviews, aren't they? We should probably start with a little conversation on, is this software for you or is it not for you? If you're someone that needs to batch process things that take too much time, then this is the software for you. If you're someone who is shooting, maybe you're working on 3 photographs, maybe you need it, maybe you don't, but I think the best thing that this is for is to speed up tedious tasks like removing pimples and redness in skin and that kind of stuff. For me personally, I work mostly with teens and parents, so for me it's a no-brainer with pimples and wrinkles. And the software from my use seems to remove that stuff in a very beautiful, natural way, not a very artificial AI-y way. This software also would be great for wedding photographers, but not running your entire wedding through this retouching software, but maybe the getting ready section of the day, the bride and groom portraits, just kind of piece the images you want to send through Evoto and then bring them back and they're super polished. Couple of things. Number one, Evoto is a standalone software. So it doesn't work with your Capture One or your Lightroom. It's basically its own software that you have to throw images into to work on. All right, cost. How much does it cost? So the software is actually free to download, free to try out. I think you get 5 edits that you can actually try and export and have. But the software works on a credit system, where you buy credits and 1 credit equals 1 photo edit, okay? It's actually an export. So you can work on a photo in the software and never export it and you don't get charged for it. You only get charged if you're gonna be exporting that image and saving it. Now you can purchase credits in bundles. So obviously the more credits you buy, the cheaper your edits will be. But the range is something like the most you'll pay is about right now, as of the making of this video, 7 cents for 1 edit. And then if you buy the most, it's 5 cents. And if you buy tons of credits, it's 4 cents is the cheapest. Now you have to decide if that's worth it to you. For me personally, for the amount of time I've saved on some of the images, it's completely worth it. But I think there's like a formula that has to go on in your mind, like what type of image is it? Is it worth the round trip, which I'll talk about in a second? The workflow is a little clunky right now. Is it worth leaving Lightroom or Capture One? And also how many images you have. So you're a better judge of whether the software is worth it to you. And put this stuff into your pricing, by the way. If you think something is too expensive to add to your workflow in your business, then that means you're paying for it, not your clients. Put that stuff into your pricing and, Spend more time with your kids. All right, let's show you how the software works, and then I'll come back and talk about what I loved and what maybe could be better with the software. Okay, let's go. All right, let's do a little quick demo of Evoto here. So I'm going to create a project. I'm going to call it Demo for You. And you can either drag images on here, or you can, let's go to the desktop. I put some on here. And I'm going to put this whole folder in here. All right, so this is the user interface, starting from left going right. On the left, you have your presets here, and then you have masking. You can actually mask, and then you can check your history. So that's on the left. The top, you have your home button, which gives you folders here. The plus sign is to add images. The left, the little undo, this is a little undo here. The hand tool lets you move the image around. There is a liquify. So with the bracket keys, you can, whoa, crazy. And then lastly, you have your healing tool. Anytime you open up the liquify and the healing tool, it opens up a brand new workspace, which means you have to approve any kind of changes you do here. So for example, if I just heal a couple of things, I have to hit OK to approve that. And the goal here is not to use a healing tool anyway, which brings us to the right side. So on the right side, you have these 6 areas of working. The first one is colors, which is the typical things that I would do in Lightroom, but they're here available as well. The second one, the portrait retouching, in my opinion, should be at the top. That should be the main thing that you use is portrait retouch. And again, I wish we can sort of customize this stuff. But the portrait retouching is what's the most amazing, and we'll use this image as an example. Here we have our freckle and acne. If I just pull this up, already her face is completely fixed, just by not even going all the way. If I go all the way, she's a bit smoother, but it's just incredible. These presets apply multiple things, and you can check here to see what the preset did. You can adjust accordingly and then maybe save your own preset. But if you go through all of these, they all do different things. Yeah, depending on what type of photography you do, it could match up your style here. Glowing 3. Okay, that actually changed her face, their face shape there. Here in the bottom, everywhere that says new here, it has sort of like film looks, and you can dial back the film looks. This next controller here is for background adjustments. Then you can fix people's clothes and wrinkles. You can crop tool, and then you can actually shoot tethered to this, which would be great if the images come in and they're totally retouched already. So if you're a headshot photographer, this would be a good solution for someone who's like maybe insecure about their blemishes and pimples. As soon as they come in, they're completely retouched. And I see that, oh man, that's just amazing. You can pick individuals. For example, here it's set to female. If I go to this male here, it automatically picks male. It should have picked male and elderly. You can also, if you have a group, you can work on an individual. For example, I feel like her color balance, the girl all the way on the right, is just, she's more on the reddish side than the others. And then here you can change sort of the complexion and also her temperature. Now, if you're working on an individual person, you can't use your presets on that person. You actually get a little box, a little warning box on there. So you can't do wedding, or you can't do maternity on one person, individual on another person. All right, let's demo the image that we started the video with so you can see how crazy amazing this is. So if I just go with blemish removal, here are the categories, by the way. And let's show you all of them. Let's close them so you can see. I'm right now in the female category, and if we go to blemishes and just go up, see how quickly her face, let's go in close so you can see what it did. Let's show you the levels. So that's 0 and all the way up to 100. Looks like this. And this is what's great. You can actually still see little AI blemishes and what our skin texture really does. So we got rid of most of, there's still, if you're a little nitpicky, there's still some stuff that's there. And by the way, you notice that her mole here, she has a little mole.
Mole! Bloody mole!
That stayed, it didn't get rid of that. And if you did want to get rid of that mole, there actually is a face mole here. You could be like, boop, get rid of that, but come on. That is part of her there. Now, for her body, we have a body blemish here. And if I go to 100, look at that. It got rid of everything immediately except maybe one here, which is where you would grab the little tool here and sort of pick that and then hit OK. And now you have a retouched image. Now, it doesn't always get everything you need to. And this is an example in this image. If we want to do body blemish, if I go all the way up, you notice that here on the edge, it didn't get everything. And I notice it does that sometimes. So I wish it would be a little better. Or maybe if we had some kind of tool where we can brush and tell it, hey, look at this region. We still have some more body blemishes. You can change the background color, which right now I think needs a little bit of work. You know, it kind of sort of doesn't look 100% real to me. You could choose a variety of colors for the background. I wish they looked a little better, but maybe that's something that will improve over time. Now, besides blemish and removal, there are some skin retouching tools. So something I always do in Photoshop is I use dodging and burning, and there is a little dodging and burning here. It says smooth face skin. And that's not really what dodging and burning is about. Dodging and burning is more about contouring the face, putting more shadow where there's shadow, and putting more highlight where there's highlight. So let's see what it does here. If I go up with the dodge and burn, it acts more like a skin smoothing than it does a dodge and burn. If you notice this shadow right here, if I were to really dodge and burn, this should get darker. And it doesn't really get darker. All right, I wrote down some pluses and minuses here. All right, number one plus is it's magic. It totally is amazing how it removes blemishes and pimples so naturally without making the image look too fake. The second thing is I love how the changes are kind of gradual. It isn't something where you push the slider all the way and someone turns into a complete plastic doll. If you go all the way to the right, it still looks natural all the way. So I love that. That's number two, is how for what I do, wrinkles and pimples, it's doing an amazing job. Being able to make your own presets, but also the built-in presets are fantastic to just get you started on some of the images if you just want to make some quick changes. You can also, of course, batch edit. That just speeds everything up. Now, I do wish that you could buy the software instead of the credit system, but I do appreciate that you don't get charged. You can actually just explore to see what it does with the image in case you want to use it, don't want to use it. I mentioned this before, but really polishing your images to make them look professional when you're not good at it, having the software do it is a great way to maybe boost your portfolio. So it'll set you apart from those in your area. So you can maybe grab everything that's on your website right now, run it through Evoto and put it back up on your website so everything looks a little bit more professional. Another positive is the company seems to be open to feedback. You can actually run your edits and send your feedback on what worked and what didn't work. And I noticed that they keep having in the last couple of weeks I've been using it, they have new features and they put a little new on it, which is cool. Another surprise feature, which I ended up loving, was the catch lights. You can actually add catch lights. What I do in Lightroom is I have a brush and sometimes I bring out the iris a little bit more. But the catch light, you can move it, you can rotate it, and it's actually pretty cool and looks very realistic. So that is super welcomed AI. And I'm sure there's more positives, but we want to go negative here, people. No, there's tons of wonderful stuff on it. The makeup thing is amazing. You can change the tone of the person's skin is amazing. I would just be here all day reading. But let's talk about some stuff that I hope is improved. They've only been around for like a year or so. So I hope moving forward, some of this following is improved. All right, let's start with the first one. I feel that two things that I work on a lot are not very great in Evoto. The first one is eyes, the window to someone's soul. They have to look amazing, the eyes. And most people have redness in the eyes. Evoto has a tool where you can get rid of little red veins. It does a great job there. But the tools to work on eyes work around brightness. So you actually have to start the tool by making the eyes brighter. But sometimes I don't want to make the eyes brighter. I just want to brush off sort of maybe the red tinge and leave the eyes the way they are. These are little subtleties that make an image look real or fake. Now, related to the eyes are teeth. You can only whiten people's teeth, the same thing. But the software should be smart enough that for most people, our incisors, the two front teeth, are always wider, or mostly, in most people, are a little brighter and wider than the sides. And there's no way to control that. There's no brush. There's no, hey, just, fix the incisors kind of thing. There's no smart, hey, whatever's the most yellow, let's bring that up to the most white. Maybe an evening out of the teeth first. So teeth are something that I retouch all the time. And I don't think right now in Evoto is something that's realistic. It just wants to brighten the teeth.
What's up?
As wonderful as the presets are, they need some organization because some of them are, looks like wedding and maternity and portrait. And then on the same list, there seems to be color and film looks. And so that starts to get a little sloppy. It'd be great if there were very general presets and then maybe presets just for hair, presets just for eyes. Now you can do this stuff manually. You can actually make your own presets. But it would be great if out of the box, there were some fixes that are a little bit more targeted as opposed to what does the wedding preset do versus the portrait 2? It would be cool to also target parts of the body. Like for example, nose. If someone's nose just happens to be red, then you don't have, you should just go to the nose preset and red nose should just be a click of a button as opposed to going through the skin and sort of evening out the skin. That's something that I wish was better. I like the software interface, but I wish on the side that the headers were just bigger. It's hard to find where body is and eye and makeup because everything is the same font size. Also, let us customize the order of stuff. And the last one that I'll mention, I think needs to be better as the software moves on. And it's the trip from your raw processor to Evoto back to your raw processor. Now, when I use other software, it's way easier. For example, if I want to sharpen and topaz sharpen, I can right-click an image and say, hey, sharpen and topaz, and it will automatically create a TIFF file. And I could grab that and drag it into the software. And as soon as I save it, it shows up in Lightroom again. So the round trip is not that tough. But since Evoto is so separate, you actually have to create a folder. You need a workflow. And so I've actually made an export preset that if I right click on a photo, I can put export as a TIFF. And that TIFF will be put into a folder that is in the original folder. Now to get that folder, you actually have to locate it. So I will right click the original photo and say, view in Finder. You see what I'm saying? I then will have it in the Finder. I can get it in the Finder and then drag it into. Now what's cool is after you work on your photo and export it, it does have an option, Evoto has an option where it could save it to the original folder. And what's cool about that is as soon as it saves it, you can go back to your Lightroom and sync. You can sync the folder and then the image will pop up as edited. But then you'll have three. You'll have the original raw, you'll have a TIFF file that is not edited, and then the third one is you have the edited TIFF. So you end up having like 3 copies of the same image. It's not perfect, so hopefully in the future the workflow will be a little simpler. So this little convoluted workflow goes into your formula is, am I ready to leave Lightroom? Is it worth the trip leaving Lightroom and leaving your workflow? If one of your individuals just has maybe 3 pimples, it may be easier just to pop each one than grabbing them all, making this folder, dragging, using your credits up, bringing it back, having 3 copies of every photo. So it's something to think about. But for the most extreme edits, in my review, totally worth it. All right, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys next time.
Maybe we can come out. Yeah. Let's see. Maybe we can come out. Like this.